Hi, welcome to the Free Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Golebahar Taba'i. On today's podcast episode, we're going to be talking about how to free ourselves through judgment. Raise your hand, post in the comments if you are someone who deals with judgment and comparison. I think all of us do. So let's start with the fact that comparison does exist for a purpose. You know, when we see someone not cross the street in a dangerous area, that lets us know, like, oh, I should probably not cross the street there, right? And similarly, when we are still animals, but animals in the wild, we by comparing ourselves to our clan, our pride, our tribe, we discovered, okay, this is what I need to do, this is what I don't need to do to survive, to acclimate, to have fun, all the things, yeah, even for having fun, even as a human, I've learned fun ways to play and be. I mean, I learned how to DJ by being like, ooh, I see what, my partner is doing. I want to do that too. And before that, going to shows and watching people do it and having so much fun. So there is it does serve us to an extent. Where it becomes a problem is when we are then just constantly judging ourselves, down on ourselves. If you're judging others, it means you're first and foremost judging yourself. Everything that I teach and share and do, it's really rooted in this idea that the answer that you're looking for how to heal through it, how to change it, is really by looking at yourself. You can't change what's around you. You can only change what's in your control, and that's you. And I mean, yes, sometimes you can change your surroundings and things, but if you could find that peace with yourself first, then no matter what surrounding you're in, you can come back to that place of peace and acceptance with yourself. So when we're talking about judgment and comparison, what we really want to be feeling, the other side of it is acceptance, is accepting ourselves, and then we accept others. This is an episode I've honestly struggled to share for a while because I'm not healed from this. And I judged myself about talking about it. But, I also believe that the way that we heal is by doing the thing that feels uncomfortable, by trying something different, by talking about it, by sharing. And especially for me, as someone who is a manifester, is just all my astrology and knowing who I am, I'm here to inform, I'm here to use my voice. And I love being vulnerable. I think it's very freeing and it helps other people open up and talk about it. And when you can relate to someone, that's so powerful and healing, So I'm hoping that those of you out there listening, if you're going through judgment or when you go through judgment, and if you can listen to this and go like, oh, okay. Golebahar is going through it too. She's gone through it. That alone can feel so healing. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, we all go through it. And let's not forget the societal factor of this. Like businesses run on making money by us comparing ourselves and judging. You open Instagram, and I use it and I really enjoy it, but like I have to have a boundary around it with not allowing it to shift my view of myself and what I really need for myself, instead of being like, well, so-and-so's doing this, so I'm clearly failing if I'm not. It's so fucking real, right? Hands up. Put your hands up if you feel it. And even just yesterday, I was sitting in my home here, where I work from, and I got excited about sharing a tease of my new song that's being worked on with my partner, Night Drive. And I got excited about sharing it on Instagram. And as soon as I go onto Instagram, of course, I first get distracted by like a couple notifications. And then I see some of my new friends that I'm following and they're following me that I've met. And I immediately see that they have like double or more followers and how their page looks so pretty. And then I go watch the video of me and my partner recording. And I'm like, I sound terrible. Like, this doesn't look good. Like, I can't share this. Hello, inner critic. Hello, committee. Hello, I call her Belinda. Like, I know we all have different ways of talking to our ego and critic. It's hard. So when that happens, I mean, the first thing I do is take a minute, take a pause, put everything away, become aware of what I'm feeling and what's going on, because it's a valid feeling. There's a little me that is feeling inadequate, that is feeling, I mean, it makes me still even emotional. She just doesn't feel like she's enough, you know? The other side of judgment is like, it's you know, a lack of, another word for it is lack of self-worth. And so it's like, I want to feel worthy and confident. And by the way, you can feel that way and also still have moments of judgment. I definitely live in both, where I can feel confident and like, fuck yeah, I got this. And then other times where I'm just like, no. And it's especially going to happen when you're doing something new, like I am with putting my singing and writing out there. You know, this is something I've done for a long time and dreamed of, but now I'm putting it out there. So yeah, the first thing I do is take a step back. I don't want to share from a place of lack and like judgment. I want to tend to myself and my little one and her needs first. So that's the first thing I would recommend, is like drop in and mother yourself. And I found that I really had some tears to shed. I had some pent up judgment that needed to come out. So the other thing when you are going through a difficult emotion is it's not always something, I mean, I don't think it's ever something that we should be like then being guilty about being in the judgment, right? But that happens. We're like, oh, we shouldn't feel this way. We should be able to move on. But instead, it's best to be in it, to allow ourselves to feel it, to see it, and notice that likely because I'm about to step into this, I am stepping into this next beautiful phase of my life, of course the ego is going to be scared. Of course my inner critic's going to be like, what are we doing? And so I get to up level by going through difficult emotions again. And I have the choice to listen to them and let it like run my life, or be with it, mother it, and then transform it into action that actually is in alignment with who I am, my highest version of myself, that does sing, that does share. There's also like the very real parts of it too that you learn, like, you know, I'm still new at this. We're recording at home in our studio. And so like, you know, when I was sharing the video with my partner, he said to me a very real thing. He's like, you're not going to sound as good in this because the way we have the room set up for doing our studio work is that your voice is supposed to get absorbed by the furniture around, so that I get the most raw version of your voice in the recording. So then, you know, that's where I can play with adding, you know, effects. He's like, it's not going to be the same when you like post a video where you're just like singing in a space that has great acoustics. So, you know, there's also the very practical things that can be very helpful to know when you're feeling some judgment. Like, hey, also when you're comparing yourself to someone or judging, that person may have been working on something for years. Like, you don't know what's behind the scenes. And so that's the other part of judgment and comparison. It's a chance for growth. It's for you to find your edge. It's just showing that you're at your edge and something's coming up. But also, like, really, when you're comparing yourself, you're seeing something in that person that's inspiring to you. And I encourage you to look at it as like a beautiful thing, you know. Before I met Matt, my partner, I had been single for most of my adult life, and I was just like, okay, I'm never going to find someone. And I remember shifting my attitude to when I met beautiful couples, people who had a loving relationship. I remember the shift in my mindset of, oh my God, I can have what they have, instead of why don't I have what they have? It was, oh, this is a sign. This is the goddess, the universe showing me, hey, babe, you can have this too. Isn't that incredible? Yeah. So it's a sign that you are seeing something in that person that you also want. And now something that's, and on that note, something that's really helped me break through judgment is that judgment is just a sign that I'm close to where I want to go, but also it might be a sign that you're not in alignment with what you want. For so long, when I was focusing more on coaching and healing work as like my full-time thing, I just constantly judged myself and compared myself with some of my closest friends. And now that I've discovered like my healing is meant to be through more like content and media and singing and DJing and all that. Now that I've really discovered here's my purpose, that judgment has faded, because now when someone tells me they're doing a coaching program, I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome for you. That's not what I want to do, So that layer of judgment has been peeled back, which is beautiful. Now I've just told you that I'm also going through other judgment through the stuff I do want to do. But look, all of this, it's like impossible to heal from all of it. We are humans. This is part of being human. And that's what I'm learning more and more. It's about knowing you're going to feel grief. You're going to feel fear. You're going to feel judgment. Okay, but can you in that moment honor the feeling, be aware of it, and then call back in your power and accept it and accept where you're at, and then decide lovingly where to go? Or are you going to let the emotion take over and like be suffering and trapped to that? And either one is your free will. That's also the gift of being human. So how you free yourself, though, is through it, through accepting it, through seeing it. I find it also really helpful to like talk to myself, like I said, like I was a kid, or maybe if you talk to yourself like you're your best friend or your partner, giving yourself that advice, because we're always hardest on ourselves. Yeah. So here's to freeing ourselves through judgment. It's something that blocks our own expression, our own voice. And your voice matters. We need your voice. We need my voice. We need our unique voices. That too is a reminder of the truth that like, yes, we are all one. And as one, the universe broke up into all these creations, trees and cats and humans, and we all have our own individual expression. It's so cool, right? Bring that curiosity and playfulness into it. You are special. You are unique, and so is everyone else, and everyone's doing things in their voice. Yeah. The last thing is it helps also to talk to someone you trust and like be very clear about what you're feeling and ask for what you need, So when my partner came home, I was in the midst of crying on the couch and just was very honest. I was like, I just don't feel like I'm doing enough. I don't feel like I feel like everyone else is ahead of me. I feel unworthy. I feel like it's too late, like all these things. And first he just, held the space for me to cry. And a lot of times we just assume the people we love will know what we need, but people have different love languages and different needs for their healing, depending on like their moon and everything. And for me, it's like, hey, I need I need you to remind me. I said, can you please like tell me like if it's true, like are you proud of me? Like do you think I have like progressed? Like I need you to believe in me because I don't believe in myself right now. And that's also really helpful to have. And there is nothing wrong with that. Actually, I know we all need that. We all need someone who can look us in the eyes and just say like, but I believe in you. And they can help remind you of your truth. Like he's like, I know this is what you want to do. You've been wanting to do this forever. It's what you've told me. It's going to take some time. Just keep doing it. Yeah. All right, y'all. I think that's all I'm feeling to share today. Might come back on this topic another time. Yeah. Oh, hey, Magdalene. There's my little kitty. I don't know. It's mirroring, so I don't know where I'm pointing right now. Oh, over there. So for an exercise for judgment, I've already given you some like action steps you can take. But rather than a meditation today, I invite you when you're feeling this judgment to come into your throat chakra because, through this energy center, which has to do with communication and self-expression, there's going to be blocks here for feeling judgment. I mean, it starts from the solar plexus and the sacral, but it builds up. So let's do some humming together. Hum is the seed sound of the throat chakra. The throat chakra's name is Vishuddha in Sanskrit, and it literally translates to purification center. So often, for pretty much most of us, the purification center is not pure. It's been congested with all the shit we hear from people around us and in society. So this practice of chanting just the sound hum, which you can also just think of as humming, is very, very healing and clearing. It's also just soothing. It can help calm you from that state of like, because when we were feeling judgment, there's like a sense of like lack, fear underneath that, right? So the chanting is soothing. And it also helps you realize you don't have to sound good. You're just humming because it's good for you. Okay. So if you'd like, you can find a comfortable seat. You can get up and move and dance with this. Yawning's good because that means my nervous system's regulating. Okay. Let out a couple sighs. Perhaps soften your eyelids over your eyes if you're sitting. If you want to move around, keep the eyes open, taking it in. Actually, no, let's all go inward because we're freeing ourselves through judgment, which is very external. So even if you're standing, be safe. Watch where you're moving around. Just keep your eyes closed. So that way we are removing the external stimuli and we're going in. Breathe deeply into your low belly, into your beautiful sacral space, your creative space, your playful space. Let the inner child breathe. Come into your belly, your upper belly, your solar plexus. Ignite that inner fire and breathe into that worthiness, that confidence, that beautiful individuality that the whole needs. The whole is made up of all of our individual expressions. And then breathing into the throat, into the center of the throat, picturing a color of sky blue, and humming to feel free. keep going till you feel some peace. Or perhaps you're feeling a layer shed and it might feel really emotional. Allow the emotions to come up. That's you releasing stuck energy, releasing judgment. Coming into silence when you're ready. Taking in any of the natural sounds around you. Feel the difference in your throat, in your jaw, in your ears, in your being. And when you're ready, open your eyes. You can keep doing that practice as long as you need. All right, loves. I'll be back when it feels aligned. In the meantime, continue to free yourself and love yourself and be yourself because it's beautiful. Mwah.